In a small town tucked between rolling hills and decaying strip malls, there stood a forgotten thrift store where the scent of dust and lost memories lingered. Locals called it the Blue Jar, a place where donated dreams went to die. One rainy afternoon, a woman named Clara stepped inside, unaware that a single painting would rewrite her reality. The painting rested in a corner, crooked, overlooked, and coated in dust thick enough to hide its true colors. It depicted a serene countryside, an empty dirt road, a cottage buried beneath oaks, a calm blue sky. But there was something hollow in that calmness, something that made her stomach tighten as if the art itself was watching back. The old cashier muttered that the piece arrived without a donor's name, just a note that read, "Do not keep after sunset." Clara laughed it off, seeing it as a rustic curiosity, and paid $5. The moment she carried it to her car, thunder cracked in the distance, as though the sky objected to her purchase. That night, as lightning flared beyond her living room window, Clara noticed something impossible. The road in the painting wasn't quite the same anymore, faint tire tracks appeared along it. Convinced fatigue was playing tricks, she turned the frame to the wall and went to bed, trembling without knowing why. Morning came, and daylight spilled across her couch, catching the frame's edge. When Clara turned it around again, the cottage door once shut now stood ajar. Brushstrokes that had seemed matte days before shone slick and wet, as though it had been freshly painted overnight. Her voice trembled when she whispered, "How?" Clara took a photo to compare. The digital image matched yesterday's version, no open door. Her hands shook as she tapped between the photos, even pixels disagreed with her eyes. She thought of the old man's warning and shoved the painting into the garage, hoping to shut out its impossible evolution. By the following evening, curiosity clawed stronger than fear. She went to check. The painting glowed faintly beneath the garage bulb, its colors deeper, darker. Figures had appeared at the edge of the dirt road, shadowy silhouettes facing the cottage. They looked unfinished yet disturbingly human, half-born from the brush. Scraping sound echoed as she leaned closer, like bristles against canvas even though her hands were still. The figure's outline seemed to pulse, as if inhaling color. Clara staggered backward, dropping her flashlight. Its beam rolled across the floor, catching a streak of crimson along the painted horizon. Convinced she was losing her mind, she invited her friend Nate to witness it. He laughed, teased her for spinning horror stories, then squinted at the painting. His smirk faded when he noticed the road was now wet, glistening as though soaked in rain. He swore he saw movement among the trees. He set up a camera overnight, pointing straight at the frame. When the footage finished rendering, every second after midnight was static, just a gray blur, except for one frame at 3:07. There, the cottage lights blazed, and something stood in the doorway, eyes glowing through streaks of digital interference. Over the next few days, the painting transformed faster. Now the silhouette stood clear, 7 figures wearing turn-of-the-century clothes, faces smeared with streaks resembling blood. Each morning they crept closer to the cottage porch, yet when Clara slept, nightmares whispered the sound of gravel crunching beneath unseen boots. Desperation drove Clara back to the Blue Jar, seeking the cashier. The shop was shuttered, a foreclosure notice fluttered in the wind. When she pried open a side window, dust-coated empty shelves. Only faded outlines on the walls hinted where paintings once hung. Everything of history seemed erased. A clerk from the diner next door told her the old man died months ago. No new items had entered the shop since last winter. Clara felt a hollow chill sink into her chest. She barely heard when he mentioned others who complained about changing artwork before the shop closed. Back home, the painting greeted her with something almost cruel. One of the figures had stepped off the porch, standing closer to the road. His painted eyes met hers. His hat cast a shadow across his face that somehow moved with the shifting light outside the actual room. Clara screamed, snatching the painting off the wall. The surface felt warm, as though alive. In panic, she sliced across the canvas with a kitchen knife. But behind the first layer of paint was another version of the same image, older, darker, the figures nearer still. Torching it seemed the only escape. She dragged the painting into her backyard and lit a match. The flame caught, breathing hunger and smoke. But before collapsing, the canvas curled back to reveal scrawled handwriting underneath, "Return me to where the road ends." Clara dropped the matchbox and screamed. Nightmares turned unbearable. The silhouettes invaded her dreams, muttering through walls of shifting paint. Their message repeated endlessly, you took the window between worlds. Clara barely slept, her reflection flickering back at her from the darkened TV screen, a reflection that sometimes blinked twice when she didn't. Driven by madness, she found the dirt road from the painting using landmarks now etched in memory. It was real, same oaks, same slopes, same silence. But the cottage stood rotten and burned long ago, only a foundation remained. She felt her heart fracture between disbelief and conviction. Inside the ruins, melted frames clung to the charred walls as if the fire refused to erase them. She found one painting half buried in ash, the same scene frozen mid-change, figures staring away toward the horizon. The air grew thick, electric, humming like a distant generator inside her skull. Then came the low hum of an approaching car, rusted, headlights flickering. The driver, expression hollow, rolled down his window and whispered, "It always finds its buyer again." Then he vanished as if swallowed by fog, leaving only the echo of tires fading into nowhere. When she returned home, the house felt foreign, misaligned. The clocks were wrong, her photos rearranged. The painting she had burned hung once again above her mantel, its colors pristine. Now all 7 figures stood on the porch, smiling, their faces horrifyingly similar to her own. Police found her a week later, apartment empty except for the frame leaning face down against the wall. The glass was cracked inward, not outward, as though something pulled from behind. They logged the item into evidence before losing it somewhere in the archives. Months afterward, an auction listing appeared online. The photo showed the same countryside scene, serene as ever. The caption read, "Charming rural oil painting, artist unknown." It sold in under 2 hours to a collector from Oregon who planned to hang it in his study. Rumors surfaced about the collector's disappearance, his phone last active at 3:07 a.m. Investigators recovered surveillance of the study door slowly opening on its own. Inside, every wall bore streaks of oil paint, dripping down like veins from a living body. Online forums began discussing the changing canvas. Dozens claimed ownership of identical paintings linking back to the same mysterious store. Their photos changed every dawn, subtly adjusting skies, trees, or faces, always drawing closer to something invisible just beyond the road. Skeptics dismissed it as digital manipulation, a viral hoax designed for clicks. But image analysts confirmed pigment proof of real alteration on actual canvas fibers. Science gawked and then grew silent, because every copy tested carried microscopic variations nobody could explain. Researcher tracking the phenomenon vanished after writing her final note, not multiple paintings, one presence replicating itself. Her camera captured a last image, her office window slick with fresh paint that hadn't been there seconds before. By now, the painting's legend reached television specials, skeptic panels, and late-night podcasts. Each claimed to know its origin, some said a cursed artist, others whispered government experiment. None mentioned the faint static hum that grew across the recording microphones whenever they discussed it. People began hearing that hum beyond screens, car radios, phone calls, even dreams. It crescendoed into a pulse before fading into silence. One morning, subreddit threads went blank, text vanishing mid-post, replaced by grainy photos of a winding dirt road beneath a deep blue sky. Restorers tried to destroy remaining copies, but every time one burned, another surfaced at a different consignment shop. The world seemed to glitch, folding upon its own logic. Collectors whispered of alternate realities bleeding through brush and pigment. Experts mapped the painting's geography, connecting each landscape as though part of one endless road looping around invisible coordinates. Yet their data formed the outline of something vast, something spiraled, an eye maybe, staring straight through the fabric of existence. Tonight, one more copy waits, somewhere near you, maybe in a flea market, maybe folded behind forgotten frames at a garage sale. It seemed quiet, ordinary, deceptive. Until tomorrow dawn changes it forever, showing whoever looks upon it a version of reality not meant to exist. Painting remains untraceable, every time authorities catalog it, records corrupt as though overwritten by unseen hands. It is no longer just art, it's a doorway waiting for eyes willing to open. And perhaps the moment you look, you've already stepped inside. If someday you wander into a thrift shop and feel a painting's gaze following you, resist the urge. Ask where it came from, if no one knows, leave. Because behind that simple landscape might sleep something still painting its way into you. Maybe that's the true glitch, not the canvas, but the viewer. The moment we observe the impossible, we become part of its correction. Somewhere, the cottage light flickers again, and the road grows longer, carving its path into the dream we mistake for reality. And as this story ends, remember, the thrift store painting changes daily. Tonight, it might already show a new house, a new face, perhaps yours reflected in its window, choosing who will see it next.